right, I'm gonna start the show now, and I need you guys behind me. If you guys aren't saying it with me, it's gonna throw me off. So, and it's gonna fuck up the whole episode because I'm gonna be like thrown off in the beginning because you guys kind of like Charlie Brown.
I'm gonna sweep across my microphone.
Yeah, do a chocolate rain.
A tornado joke. Straight out the bat.
Okay, yeah. Okay, ready? Hello and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland.
You said you were gonna count us down.
That was a really good one too. I think that was actually like one of my better ones. Okay. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland. Summer break. Summer break.
Bad, Ryan?
Season.
I got scared.
There's no season. It's summer break. Twister.
You don't say it. I say it.
Okay,
this
all
is
right,
the
let's
2.0.
start
It's
over.
okay. We're
Let's start
workshopping
over.
2.0. We're
Okay,
workshopping
yeah, 2.0. This is GBGBs 2.0. Okay, we'll start over. We'll cut this all out. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello
and welcome to Good Boys Gone Bland.
Twister.
Summer break. Okay, all right. Okay, Jace, okay, I'm your co-host, Denali. We know this part.
I'm your co-host, Ryan.
I'm your co-host, Jace. There are no rules. It's a bonus episode. That's why it's like this.
That's right, baby. The chain has come off, and we are going to do whatever we want. So, Jace, what you wanted to introduce the movie because you picked it, right? So maybe do that portion.
Yeah.
Now.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, for this bonus episode. We watched the 1996 cinematic whirlwind Twister, directed by John DeBond. Is that it?
I think it's
fake name.
It's Jan de Bon.
Jan de Bon. Starring Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton. Twister is a tale of a tale of reigniting a flickering marriage through like the sheer magic of trauma bonding, tornado chasing, and just a dash of unpredictable weather events. So hold on to your hats, because this tornado has cows skydiving, okay? Cornfields getting crunched, and some cars joining the circus.
That was good, Jace. This is going to be our most twisted episode yet, folks. No more joking around. We're straight twisted today.
Yeah.
What's the most twisted thing you guys can think of?
Twisted tea.
A twisted tea.
Getting blackout drunk on twisted tea.
Yeah. Maybe little crabs with like
It's very
razor blades
Oklahoma.
for eyes. Yeah.
Little crabs?
Yeah, with like razor blades for eyes.
That's twisted?
Yeah, what's more twisted? Let's keep the
ride
energy
at
up.
Disneyland where you're in the thing and you spin it, but it doesn't have a control. So if you're really strong, you just keep
big
spinning
apples.
yourself over and over and over, and you get tied in and you get trapped.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's twisted. Maybe like Nerds Rope, but instead of the nerds, there's nails.
Oh,
Nails
dude,
rope.
I don't like your idea of
That's twisted. It's
I
fucking
don't think that's-
twisted.
Fucking twisted. Saw 5?
Yeah, that movie's twisted too. Maybe eating 6 containers of silly putty without heating it up first, just eating it straight from the can.
Oh, the fact that like wild mint doesn't taste really good.
Well, anyways, okay, I think that was good. 120 episodes in, I say we're flowing really well as usual. Yeah, I mean, you guys, Jace, you suggested this movie.
I didn't mean to. Okay. Okay.
I have the evidence. All right.
I know you do.
You texted us, probably drunk, probably seeing the cool Glen Powell poster, and you wanted to watch the original Twister from 1996.
Yeah. Ryan's going to talk about this in a second. There was a tornado thing. We didn't know if,
Didn't think I was gonna make it, huh?
Didn't know.
I thought you could make it, Ryan.
Julie was in the
just
basement.
for the record.
Well, let's put that on the record. Julie like literally went to the basement with a bunch of water and like the dog.
She didn't take you with her.
I was at work.
She's like, fuck this.
Yeah, I was at work.
I could also see you being the guy who like diligently films the Twister with his camera as it comes straight towards him, and they're like, "Wow, this man was sucked into the funnel, but his video is one of the greatest footage we've ever seen."
And while the whole time mansplaining that it's not gonna hit us.
That would be like a hero's death, I think, for Ryan. Yeah. So Ryan, you had a Twister almost hit you. Like, what happened?
I wouldn't say almost hit me. We were under the warning, and one that it never ended up touching down. But that day there was like 5 that touched down. in like the surrounding areas, and so every now and then we get tornadoes.
You do?
It's not very common. Yeah. I mean, like my fishing hole got tornadoed.
Oh.
I went out there one day and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna not fish. And then, boom, tornado.
How long of a warning normally do they?
Yeah.
So we know the weather system's like inbound.
Okay.
And you know that like for the rest of the day or like for the next 6 hours or so, you might get warned because like there's levels.
Yeah.
So they give now with the iPhones, it's nice because they ping you and they say like you're under a watch area, and the watch area is like multiple counties. And then when they see rotation, they give you like a warning, and they will like sketch out the area where the warning is, and they're like, bands kind of like a.
You can thank Jan de Bond for that.
Yeah. He raised. I bet you this movie kind of raised because it's a plot point, right? They give you like 3 minutes until the tornado fucking comes. And how much did you have, Ryan, until you saw the tornado on top of you?
Okay, well, that's not what happened. But each one you don't. Okay, so I feel like you didn't really understand what I was saying. So like the individual tornado, you have like no warning.
Right.
But the idea that you're like going
John
to potentially get hit by a tornado,
fuck that guy.
You have a little bit of warning.
Oh.
So they give you a heads up, like an iPhone notification, where they're like, you might
in the next 30 minutes, there might be a fucking tornado. So go to the basement.
It's kind of like at that point, it's almost like those nuclear missile texts where you get, where they're like, hey, there's a nuke coming your way.
press 1 to buy life insurance.
Hug your cat, you're fucked. It's like at that point, like, what are you? That's just, it's almost rude. Okay, yeah. So, but you said you survived your encounter
bravely. Yeah, I bravely survived. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're glad to see it. And in celebration, we kind of wanted to watch Twister. Jason and I were kind of talking off thread about just us two doing this episode in case things went south. But we're glad that you can join us and be a part of this this episode.
I didn't want to mess with your aura, Ryan. I didn't want to talk about your death.
Yeah, then it's in your head, and then you kind of think,
and then it would have happened.
Then it would have been on us.
You mean to tell me that you have a text thread without me?
Yeah, it's me and Jace.
I've got others too. It's like me and my mom.
Yeah, I've got tons of group chats actually without Ryan.
That's fucked up, guys. I didn't know I was that guy.
So, right, it's interesting here. You have 5 tornadoes near you. I mean, the U.S. is like a unique place, I heard, about for tornadoes, right? Like, it's one of the only places in the world where this many happen because of like, the wind, Gulf of Mexico, all that kind of stuff. And I was kind of thinking, because isn't this a plot of Twisters, the new movie, where they're thinking about like how to stop a tornado?
Is that what the movie's about?
Yeah, don't they try to stop a tornado?
I don't know. Okay, first of all, I got some shit to pick too. Who'd you say the lead actor was?
Glen Powell.
Glen Powell. He's getting shoved down our throats, man.
He's
got like a really small
people's, like,
eyes.
He's influencing people's like wardrobe choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
Fashion sense.
Is he gonna? He's gonna fizzle out. He's got.
He dresses like he's going to a French wedding.
Look, okay, all right. This is a lot of hate, really fast. Okay, I have not seen Glen Powell in any movies. Okay, so he might be really good. Have you guys seen Glen Powell?
Yeah,
he was in the one with
Top Gun.
Sydney Sweeney. He was in Top Gun. He's
in The Dark Knight Rises.
Are you serious? What the hell? What was he in that?
He's the stock trader who talks back to Bane, and then Bane grabs him by the back of the head and slams him into the keyboard.
Oh my god, I remember that.
That's Glen Powell. I'm serious.
Hitman.
I
tried to watch that movie.
Hitman. No. I don't know. I'm. You know what? I'm gonna give him a chance. All right. Maybe let's not hate him super fast in case he's listening.
He's amazing in Top Gun.
Maybe we want to do a Glen Powell season in like 10 years, 10, 20 years. I mean, okay. I was wondering, do you guys have any ideas how to defend or stop a tornado?
Yeah.
Defend against or stop a tornado. We have a GBGBs think tank.
Yeah.
Okay.
A big wall.
Okay, big wall.
Just around Oklahoma.
Yeah, just seal it off.
Yeah.
And then the tornado. Okay, I like that. If we're thinking about infrastructure, maybe drain the Gulf of Mexico. Just pull the plug from the bottom.
Oh yeah, we could do that. Where the plug is where the meteor hit. Like
and then drain it straight into the core of the earth. Water's gone. Tornadoes will never form again. Maybe trail a huge kite through a tornado and then rip it like a Beyblade in the other direction, so it can kind of.
Or we could get like a Pacific Rim Gundam style mech.
Yeah.
And it fights the tornado.
Maybe the mech can like ride the tornado like a giant bull
and steer it.
And it's like yeehaw!
Steer it away from neighboring states and just back into Oklahoma.
Yeah. Maybe because I mentioned Beyblade. Maybe a giant Beyblade.
Spun in reverse.
But what if you accidentally, what if the Beyblade gets trapped inside the tornado and they
powers
self-sustain?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
If you miss the button to reverse the Beyblade polarity, you're gonna create a supernatural disaster.
Well, then you'd have to get another Beyblade that's also super powered in the reverse direction and let them fight.
You'd have to power it up with fire too,
and another tornado.
Mm-hmm. Fire tornado,
and then release electric eels into them too to kind of like up your tornado,
right?
To kind of beat the other one. Is there a way we can make tornadoes better?
Yeah, now that's the question.
Better at what they do. Maybe we could start feeding them things. That'll make them. Yeah.
They could be in like more populated areas that didn't suck.
That would make them better.
That would make them better at doing what they do.
If you ever go to like Midwest airports and everything, including Chicago, will have tornado shelters. Wow, the bathrooms are designated as tornado shelters.
Oh my god, I would not go into an airport bathroom even if there was a tornado. Okay, I'm talking when I say make a tornado do it better. I don't mean necessarily killing people. We don't have to kill anyone, but maybe more destructive power.
Or like
cooler.
Make it cooler. Like put a ramp, like a skateboard jump,
just to make it jump.
Yeah,
make it go.
like a mountain bike.
That'd be cool.
I really liked the tornadoes kind of anime moves in this movie. That was pretty cool. Where it was like the tornado disappeared, and then the tornado was like whoosh, and then it reappeared right on top of him.
It like teleported behind the dude,
and then when it it duplicates.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Oh, there's two.
That was a line in the trailer where they're like, "It's twins."
They made tornadoes seem pretty fucking cool in this movie.
It's fucking cool.
I'll give it to them.
Also,
maybe we can
they made it seem like that they're like fucking everywhere. Like there's 8 tornadoes in one day in this movie. It hits the same person over and over and over.
It makes Oklahoma seem uninhabitable.
It's like it's geostorm this constantly.
What?
It's like how? Yeah, go ahead.
I have an actual question about the movie.
Go ahead.
Did anyone else suffer from tonal whiplash because you didn't know how much time was passing, and they were just like tornado, and you're like, how far did they drive? And I have no idea what state they're in. I saw a kid had a Green Bay flag in his room. I don't know.
They were in Oklahoma the whole fucking time, and the whole movie happened within 24 hours.
What? Yeah, because at the end, Amber she didn't see the movie, so she walked by when they were in the center of another tornado in the middle of the movie, and she's like, "Oh my god, they're in a tornado!" And I'm like, "This is the 6th time this has happened in this movie."
And also, they oh my god, yeah. But we're gonna go on about the movie, but I think the time thing was really complicated because I only saw it in the trivia section on IMDb, and then I exclaimed which I was browsing during the movie because the movie kind of sucked. And
okay,
I exclaimed to Julie in the movie, it's only been less than 24 hours. And she's like, what the fuck? I thought it was 3 weeks.
My brain doesn't have enough, I think, brain hormones to withstand seeing a tornado that many times. Even just in a movie. Once the 17th tornado showed up, my brain was spent. I was just like, whatever, man.
Yeah. It's like the villain in a slasher movie. Okay, look. What's going to happen. The main character's not going to die, but the villain's going to show up and, maybe stab a tertiary character or something.
One innocent dude.
Yeah.
through the chest.
That was... Okay, we got to talk about that later. That was the funniest... Wait, you don't think the tornado died at the end, Ryan?
No way. There's a sequel, buddy.
You think the tornado didn't... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's a copycat tornado.
Yeah. There's actually only one tornado, and that was in 1869. All the other wind things were copycats. So, okay, we could talk about the movie because we're kind of riffing on it. The movie kind of opens with
Can you imagine spending 2 weeks chasing tornadoes with your fiance's ex-wife? Before you're like, I'm gone. Sorry.
Bro, I can't.
I can't do it anymore.
I felt so bad for her because her greatest sin was being a little stressed when a car came through the fucking window. And then she's like, oh my God. Okay. Well, so like, the movie starts with like this family, right? It's like Joe, who's one of the main characters.
Helen
She's
Hunt,
like a child, Helen Hunt. And like her dad gets sucked up by an F5 tornado in a wild scene.
He's a fucking dumbass. Can we talk about this? Like the door blew off. Okay, so they're in the storm
Monday
shelter.
morning quarterback here.
They're in the storm shelter, which by the way is like 200 yards from their house for some fucking reason. He dug it in the middle of the fucking field, and then and he built like a chicken coop in the middle, like in the way. And then he's just holding onto the door. Did his dad like give him that door as a child or something? Like, why did he care so much about that door? Because as soon as the seal's broken, like all the other panels like rip off, and nothing happens to the other two, like, to his daughter and his wife.
Ah, he's dead.
And
it's my favorite
door's
door.
Gone. And they're just in there totally fine, surviving the tornado with no door on their storm shelter. But the dad's gonzo.
We don't know that.
We do know that.
Wow,
we didn't see the body.
We didn't know that at that point.
Yeah, I think
you didn't know that he got sucked up 200 feet hanging onto a door like an inverted surfer.
I bet you in Twisters, there's going to be like an 80-year-old man who shows up, and he's like, "I heard you guys need an expert."
Descending from
and
the
he's
sky.
he's holding
I got
the door.
all twisted around, honey. I didn't know how to get back to you.
Okay, so he's like, I can't hold on any longer, and then the door rips off and he flies, and it's hilarious. I'm sorry,
He's
it's
fucking
the
funny.
movie. Yeah, and then like it flashes forward, like Joe is like a climate scientist or like a weather scientist, and I'm like trying to imagine the conversation of like how you like if someone's like, oh, how did you get into storm chasing, or like how did you get into this, and you normally someone's like, oh, I took like an elective in school and I really fell in love with the process. But her answer is, my dad got sucked up by a tornado.
By the world's strongest tornado.
Severe trauma.
That is a showstopper. Okay, and then, so like Jay said, like it revolves around a divorce, right? It's kind of like a rom-com a little bit with tornadoes, question mark? You've got Melissa, right, who's Bill Paxton's new, I guess, fiance.
Yeah.
He just divorced Helen Hunt's character. And he's bringing Melissa on, and I'm gonna say it, hot tension, okay, between the three characters. All right, it's like you feel the old flame.
Thruple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say it.
You weren't gonna say the word thruple?
There's a lot of tension, right? Like Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton. They said it's over, but it's not, dog. You fucking see the intense relationship that they have. Ryan, you're shaking your head. Do you disagree? You don't like the tension?
No, I did not like the tension. I thought Helen Hunt's character, she was not likable at all because she's always just bad-mouthing this woman who didn't do anything wrong. And it's like doing that thing that siblings do when they're not touching you. And they're like, I'm not touching you. And I really hated it. And I would not get along with her at all. I wouldn't even work with her. I'd probably be on that Carrie Elwoods' team.
the random Jonas
They have
team.
like air conditioning and shit. And they drive around with their windows up.
Well, they don't have intuition, Ryan.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
And that beats all of that. The guy can smell the dirt and know where the tornado's gonna go, Ryan.
I think that supports the rom-com take too.
Yeah?
How horny he was for tornadoes. Yeah.
Dude, that guy had a fucking fixation.
Little tease.
Yeah, and he comes out to this tornado chaser like an addict. And he's like, "No, I'm not gonna chase any." And he gets to the camp, and then they're like, "Whoa, there's a tornado nearby." He's like, "Whoa, what are the chances, honey? I didn't know they were like chasing one." And they're like at a tornado.
Yeah, he was like sweating and listening to the radio, I think 2 days before that. He's like, oh, I think there's a fucking tornado gonna come there. And he's like, what? Wow, I totally can't just go home now. I gotta see like what's gonna happen like all 17 times.
And his mouth is so wide, and he's like always showing his teeth in a weird way. And he's like, oh, I gotta go get my divorce papers for my ex-wife. You gotta
He
come
definitely
with
had a huge
me.
throbber. Yeah. The guy loved tornadoes. He's horny for them. He gets caught in the center of them multiple times. I think the first time that happens to me, I'm fucking retiring. That is fucking horrifying. But he does it like 6 times in this movie. But I gotta say, Storm chasing looks pretty fucking cool in this movie, dude. Like with the trucks, and they're like ripping down the highway, playing the music, and running towards a tornado. I think it looks fun. I think it looks cool.
I didn't think it was cool.
You don't like Storm it? Yeah.
I thought it was actually like way less cool than what they do in reality.
Oh, what do they do in reality?
They drive around and they actually like put the instruments on the truck, and then they park there and they want it to come over them. In this movie, they're constantly trying to not get hit by the tornadoes and failing.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, that's because modern day tornado chasers have learned from Bon Jovi.
Yeah, and then modern tornadoes too have changed. They've kind of learned from since then. Their behavior is different.
It's like the difference between the first UFC and the now.
Yeah, the game's completely changed between the tornado and tornado, and it's completely different. Well, that's your opinion, Ryan. I mean, I don't think parking a car and waiting for something to hit you is cool. I think weaving in and out of the dangerous.
I think being bad at your job is cool.
I like how they had I like how they had call-outs. They would get into the tornado and they'd be like, "We've got water." Like, I feel like as a team, they'd all like respond on the radio like, "Water." They'd be like, "We've got hail." They'd be like, "Hail." They'd be like, "We've got debris."
No fucking way, man. I had no idea. I'm only 10 feet behind you. There was a scene in this movie where a cow literally flies through the air. I didn't know that came from this. Like, that's always like a trope you see in like every movie with a tornado in it. You see like in Jimmy Neutron or some shit, you see a cow like flying. I thought that was like from like Scary Movie or something.
Jimmy Neutron.
I don't know. I'm just thinking of like stuff, like well-known stuff with tornadoes.
You're thinking of Rat Race, dude.
I've never seen Rat Race.
No, you're thinking of Rat Race. You've seen Rat Race.
Okay, yeah. So sure. In the scene in Rat Race with a cow comes through, it's based from this movie, is what I'm saying.
So you have seen Rat Race.
What do you think, Rat Race, Jace?
I don't think I've seen it either.
I tried to watch Rat Race the other day.
Yeah.
And I used the voice to text, and it just started playing like a documentary about rats called Rat Race.
Oh.
But the cover art even was the movie cover art, and my TV is just confused.
You think this has ever happened?
This week.
Yeah. Okay. So wait. So does that happen though? Do cows go flying?
No.
Like that?
I don't think so.
They don't.
I don't.
Okay.
I honestly don't think so.
Okay.
I think that this movie made literally everything up.
Well, maybe not everything, but maybe like the cows.
I don't think tornadoes are particularly real either. Like,
okay, all right. No, we can't. We don't have time for this, Ryan. We don't have time for Ryan's conspiracy corner.
If
you Google what weight can a tornado pick up, there's something called the Tornado Project. Top hit, at the top of Google, and then it said the Pampa, Texas tornado moved machinery that weighed more than 30,000 pounds.
Move?
Holy fuck.
So a tornado would certainly have no trouble tossing a 3,000.
Wait, well, how heavy is a cow, though? Is it lighter?
A fully grown female cow, about 2,500 pounds.
About 4,000 pounds.
Adult male cow,
oh my
about
God.
4,000 pounds, yeah.
Guys, I found a YouTube video of cows being thrown in the air. Holy shit.
Okay, hold on.
Oh my Lord Jesus. 5 million views.
Flying cow with tornado in Wyoming, is that the one?
Kansas tornado sucks up cows and blows farm apart. Holy shit. Oh my God. Oh my Lord. That is fucked, dude.
There's no chance that like the tornado, how it kind of picks it up from the stop. There's no chance that it like slows it down and it's like, hey, here you go.
That's a lot of cows.
You think the tornado
is it getting the air? What's all that stuff in the air?
Do you think it gets a little bit excited when it sees a field full of 800 cows? And it's like
jackpot, I'm gonna get the bonus multiplier.
Like if you're a tornado and you're doing you cannot control what you're doing, and you see an open field and a field of 800
Those
cows.
aren't cows.
You don't think that's cows in that video?
Not being blown around. That's like metal sheet roofing.
Well, this YouTube channel is just a guy, and he said we caught this EF4 as it tore through Kansas. I think that's a cow.
It says the caption says the violent winds impacted livestock and structures.
Okay, well this video it says sucks up cows.
I know, I'm watching the same video. I don't think that's...
You're not watching the same video. This is a different video.
No, I'm watching the same fucking video. Kansas tornado sucks up cows and blows farm apart by storm stock.
Dude, I see udders on this debris. Okay,
You
anyways,
just don't
all
have
right.
a nice enough monitor, Ryan.
You got to play it in 1080p. Okay, that's why I feel bad for the cows. If you're a cow, that must be the most insane thing. UFOs, tornadoes, they get sucked up by things. You guys ever seen one?
I've actually never seen one like touching the ground. I've seen a couple not touching the ground.
Yeah.
Seen those little ones in the dust.
Yeah, like dust devils.
Oh yeah.
When we were driving through New Mexico, it's like a big salt flat where it's like fucking dead flat, and there's tons of signs where they were like, "Do not stop. If you see a dust devil or a tornado, keep going. Just keep your foot on the and it's like the signs keep showing up like every 500 feet. And then it was like really windy, and me and Amber looked to the side, and there was like 3 dust devils just like circling, like it looked like a bat out of hell. It was terrifying, and Amber's just like, keep going. So there's like parts of the world where it's like this, which is buck wild to me. I was in a bad storm in Alaska once. It was right after we watched Castaway in theaters, and the ground was really icy, and I saw a McDonald's sign fall over. It's pretty scary. So what else happens in this movie? There's a scene in this where there's an oil tanker explosion. You guys remember that? Where there's the big.
It's the word. There's couple explosions. There's the one explosion where the bad guy's car gets whipped around and explodes, and it looks like something out of like Conker's Bad Fur Day.
I mean, it's from 1996.
It's like the worst graphics I've ever seen.
The bad guy dying. The Carrie Elwes character, right? Like it's such a funny scene because they're kind of yelling at him. It's like the karmic justice moment where they're like yelling at him to get out of there, and he's like, "Ah, shut up!" and he turns the radio off. And even his driver, who's been sympathetic this whole movie, where he's like, "Oh, well, maybe we should turn around." Like he wouldn't like purposely fuck with us and stuff. And boy, does that driver get his
Final
comeuppance.
Destination.
Holy shit, dude! A piece of trust just goes straight through his head.
The most innocent guy ever who was getting bullied by his boss.
Yeah.
Just the first death on screen.
It really was.
The second on screen death because the dad got sucked up by a tornado.
Oh, true. Well, like we said, he could have just got lost.
I will say, like, in a movie where mostly there's no deaths, right? Like, there's not really anything graphic. To see a pole go through someone's head very suddenly in the last, quarter of the movie was alarming.
I wish they had... There's, 8 tornadoes in this.
Yeah.
I wish they had one of them just go right fucking through, a town fair or something. And just kill, 200 people.
Oh.
Ryan, you're going to get us on a list.
And that way, we would... Not really...
I'm gonna turn captions off for this portion of the podcast so that the AI can't scan what we're saying here.
And that would be oh man, there's stakes. There's a reason we need to do this. But all they've shown us is that you can survive 8 tornadoes.
Yeah, it fucked up that town, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Steak and Eggs aunt, she got hit by a tornado and almost died.
She got hit by a TV or something that fell.
Dude, she had a building on her.
Yeah.
I agree. So
I agree. The stakes are...
Stakes, right?
See, I think you want it to be an apocalypse movie, but really, it was all a car movie.
Fuck me.
Oh, that's a really good point, Jay.
Yeah, this movie
that's a really good
was
point.
a fucking car movie. There was fixing cars. There was altering cars so that it could accept extraneous equipment. There was racing.
This was the greatest Dodge commercial I've ever seen because it's all about that red Dodge.
Yeah. And none of them are drinking and driving.
Yeah, all of them were like, "Oh, that's a nice car, nice truck, man. Wow, new, it's so nice." And then the truck does everything in the movie. It goes through a storm. It's like the hero of the movie.
Yeah,
it's the last thing standing.
Car movie.
Car meter high. Okay, apocalypse meter I think is gonna be kind of low.
Pretty low.
I think. I don't think death by tornado for the Earth's populace. That's going to be a tough one to kind of...
It was in Geostorm, I think. They showed the Midwest, and there was just 1,000 tornadoes.
You couldn't give the Midwest something else.
I know.
It's the thing that they get all the time. They're like, God damn it. They didn't get a volcano or something.
Right.
It was...
Or a meteor, or yeah.
To kill the whole world with a tornado, you would need a tornado, I think, going consistently, just sweeping the world. It would need to hit everything.
Or just make them appear everywhere. Like it could hit any city. It's like a Marvel bad guy, and they can't. They're trying to predict what major city it hits next.
But and the tornadoes.
They really don't hit cities.
Yeah, makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Makes you wonder.
I made that joke.
Guess
I made
where
that joke.
the cities vote.
Jace, yeah, don't wait. Think about that, Jace.
Tornadoes are allergic to major cities.
Interesting. And it's kind of allergic to blue areas.
Yeah,
I think in the country. So it kind of makes you think about what's at play and at stake.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mentioned the oil tanker in the movie in a ridiculous scene where it comes and it's like they see it come out of the thing. I read that in the trivia that they forgot to film that portion when the oil tanker explodes for the first time. Like when they send a real oil tanker and explode it in front of the camera.
Oh no.
And just like Tropic Thunder, they didn't film it apparently. And it was like a massive explosion and set piece. And then the directors were like, we're not going to tell the production team. We're just going to redo the whole fucking thing. And apparently costs like millions of dollars to redo, which I just think is great.
Yeah, and I thought that was funny because the worst part of this movie really was like buying into the CGI and stuff. Yeah. And I think at the time it was like cutting edge. But when you see this little like kind of like Birdemic 2 style like tornado on the horizon like dancing around and doesn't really like mesh with the clouds or the ground, and it's kind of just like dancing, like a little like a old-timey movie, like black and white movie. It's hard to buy. It's hard to be like, oh no. You're kind of just like, okay, there's a little skeleton guy.
I mean, I thought it looked pretty good for the time, right? This is like pre fucking Jurassic Park.
Yeah, but this is also like 30 years after 2001: Space Odyssey and Alien.
That's true. Their CG was pretty good in that movie. But I mean, like the way you would have to do, how do they do tornadoes before CG? Like, do they use like one of those bottles that like create a tornado and they kind of just like
put it in front of the camera?
Whoa! Yeah, I mean, it's coming.
The big tornado at the end like was fine. I think the bigger tornadoes were fine, but like watching the smaller tornadoes, I wasn't sold.
Maybe they needed to film on location to make this really work, to make this really sing.
You mean like film a real one?
Film a real tornado.
That would get a better fucking actor.
Yeah, wow.
Fucking sucks.
You don't like Bill Paxton?
What else is it?
I
just feel
Bill
like
Paxton.
Okay, yeah, people die.
You don't have to.
Does our generation have any connection to him besides this movie?
Aliens,
Titanic,
Predator.
Tombstone, Weird Science, Edge of Tomorrow, Mighty Joe Young.
I generally like Bill Paxton, but he did fine. He did an okay job, but like he's not really like a leading man. Like,
I thought he was direct. Okay, I'll give it. Maybe he was directed poorly, but I couldn't get behind his acting.
From what that French guy, whatever his name is.
Just like Jan de Bont. You guys are so disrespectful for Jan de Bont. He's Dutch, okay? He directed Speed. We like that movie.
Oh, well, that explains a fucking lot.
Same year, huh? 1996?
94 was Speed. But same, yeah.
So he got
a
worse.
hot streak in the 90s. Yeah, I guess he got a little worse.
I'm trying to look it up on IMDb, and all it says is the picture of Mia's deceased father next to her music box is Anne Hathaway's real-life father. Oh, that's cool.
No, not this again. No, you can't keep doing this, Ryan. You can't keep reading Princess Diaries 2 trivia on this. Okay, this movie, it ends, right?
Yeah,
it has an ending.
It God.
Ends. Yeah.
There's 2 hours of a lot of tornadoes. It's a sensory overload. And the whole thing is that they're trying to distribute this thing called Dorothy. It's like a tornado measuring device, right? It has little balls in it. And they're trying to send it in and have the little balls get sucked into the tornado where it'll measure what's inside. Okay. Inside of the tornado.
Whole bunch of data. Data.
They find the big one, right? The F5 storm, the thing that's been haunting Joe's character this whole time. It's the thing that killed her dad. All right? It's her chance.
It's the same tornado.
It's the same one.
Yeah.
And they said it's a 300-mile-per-hour winds from this tornado. And, like, what gets me is that they go in, of course, they get caught in the center of it, just like they do with other tornadoes. But, like, their eyes are wide open in the tornadoes, just, like, looking around. Like, 300 mile per hour, you were inside a blender at that point. Like, they're having shards of wood just, like, it's, like, in the frame, and they're just, like, looking around, being like, wow, this is crazy, whoa! Like, it's just...
Which is weird because they like set themselves up for realism in other scenes where like wood debris was shooting through walls, which is
That was cool.
probably like the most dangerous thing that's gonna happen. And they were just chilling.
Yeah, and they did do the gag where they go through the farm and like they go into a room just filled with blades, which I thought was pretty,
It was pretty funny.
We had a question about that scene because there's 2 lines of dialogue. Okay, so here's the scene. Here's what happens. There's a big ass fucking tornado. It's the big one. It's the end of the movie, and they're on this random farm, and they're trying to look for cover, and they run into a barn.
Okay.
And they close the door behind them.
Yeah.
And they see a bunch of like scythes and like saws and stuff hanging up.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Helen Hunt says, "What kind of people are these?" And then Bill Paxton says, "Yeah, I don't think so." And then they run out. So our conclusion was that like they were
Serial
making like a
killers.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre joke. Like they were like,
I think so.
Are these farm people going to skin us alive after the after the tornado passes? So we can't risk that. We have to go to a different building.
Yeah,
on the
because
same
what if
farm.
they're in that barn with them, and like they're hiding, and they're like, "Oh, hey guys," and they're surrounded by weapons.
Which would actually be really good.
Yeah.
If this movie was shot like a if this movie was shot like a slasher, it would have been so much better.
Yeah, so there's a storm outside, like a twister happening, and they're stuck in the barn. They can't leave, but they got tons of weapons around. So it's like I was like thinking, like, what if they just like keep running into like worse and worse buildings, like a knife factory and then like a glass factory, and it just like, but like they finally get into this tiny ass house, and they tie themselves to a pipe, right, with like a horse reins and shit.
Like a shed.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, there's like these pipes go 30 feet down. We'll be fine if we just like hang on." And like, okay, my dad was in the Air Force, all right, and you know, like Air Force guys have a lot of tall tales, right? They kind of say a lot of stuff. One of his stories that he would tell me is that they used to have like a wind tunnel, all right, for like they would like test jets and shit, and they would like for the airplanes. It was like a part of the base. And he was saying that what they used to do sometimes is have guys go in there and see how long they could stay standing while the thing's blowing. Okay. And like there was a guy who like there's like I guess like a thing you could hold on to, and the guy was trying to see like if you could just hold and the thing's going really hard. And my dad claims that by the time you are being lifted off the ground and holding onto the pole thing, your clothes have ripped off. So I don't know. It could be a tall tale, but he claims that his friend did it, and his clothes ripped off, and he flew towards the back of the room and injured himself really bad. And he was butt-ass naked and was very scraped.
That'd be pretty dope, dude. Imagine seeing that. That would be like
that'd be amazing.
That's like tier A story.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about this movie, right? Because they are being blown sideways completely, right? They're holding onto the pipe, and the reins are holding on, and their clothes are fine.
Oh no,
like,
my pants are off.
His D&B is just like
like a windsock slamming against two plums.
Oh god!
And he
No,
like
please.
they tied themselves to the pipes with like these leather straps too. It was really weird.
Let's just say those little balls aren't the only little balls being flown
We
into
gotta
the set
build
of
a
the
wind tunnel
Twister.
at home, babe.
It blew his balls off his body.
We're going home and we're buying a leaf blower tonight.
I just like I don't entirely understand how collecting data on the biggest tornado that there's ever been is going to help you understand the smaller ones necessarily. Like
I don't know anything about.
I
don't know anything enough.
You know what the thing is now
I'm just
they
confused.
still use the same because like when we were watching the news coverage to see if we're gonna get hit by a tornado, they use the like Doppler to detect the where the clouds are to see like they look for rotation, and what they'll see is like a portion of the clouds are moving towards the Doppler and a portion of them moving away and right next to each other. And they call that rotation because it shows that something is spinning. And that is what they still use to this day to determine whether or not there's a tornado.
They don't use little balls?
They don't use the little balls. I think we got tricked with the little balls. And did you notice that this entire movie, whenever they were tracking a tornado, they had a perfect map of all the tornado's wind speeds? Like,
that's cool.
On the computer already? Like, live? What
maybe
are they looking for?
See, they said. Well, he said like how much it's sucking up and how like the side drafts and like how the dynamics. I don't know. I'm not a tornado guy. I don't know. But apparently he saved the world with this cool technology. I just Googled how fast does wind have to be to blow someone's balls off, and they said that a person can be blown away by 90-mile-per-hour winds. This windstorm,
be blown away.
300 miles per hour. They said for this windstorm. The house was separated. Like there wasn't even like two pieces of wood stuck nailed together. And I'm just saying his clothes were intact. I feel like when you think about how much, I feel like they would have blown off. I think they would have blown off.
The real story here is like, what if he was tied to that pole? What if there was like a field mouse tied to his junk, holding on to his life?
So if there was a field mouse, he's like Ratatouille that's on his ball hairs that control his body.
It's a storm chasing rat, and that's how he's controlled.
How do you know where the storm's going to end up?
I just know, man. I can't explain it. He sniffs the ground. He knows where the tornado's going.
Wait, so he has like a stormatouille in his pants?
Yeah.
That controls his movement? How come you're so good at driving? Yeah, they survived. They survived the storm. They say we made it. I think they would have been like two skeletons at this point with all the things that were just hitting them. And they did it. They stopped tornadoes until Twisters.
Until 2024,
which I hear it comes back. Tornadoes are back, and I hope there's a Twisters 3, a Twist 3er where there's 3. Okay, so let's do the meters, right?
Suck meter. Suckometer.
It's the
tornadometer. Tornadometer.
It's the Fujita scale.
Fujita scale. Oh my God, Fujita scale. Yes. Okay, Jace, what's your scale on Fs? What's your rating of this?
Well,
how tornado was
they
it?
get higher based on how destructive they were, and I felt like beyond a few short brief reprieves where my nipples weren't being twisted, that this movie was just fucking me up the whole time.
Were you watching it in 4D, like one of those Disney 4D things where they twist your nipples every time there's a tornado?
And Yuri was helping with the 4D. She was like, she was just like, why are we watching this?
She was like throwing ice cubes at you when the hail was coming.
Sorry, tornado? How
tornado was? It's a simple question.
Wow. Fuck.
Are we going to do this out of F10 or out of like F6, which is like the top, or F5?
F6 is the top so far, Ryan. That's the theoretical. I think we can get there.
So you didn't
in this economy. Okay, let's do up to F6. We'll play it Ryan's way with realism.
I'm just asking.
I feel like we got more.
Ryan wants to do it this
I think
way.
we got more weather effects in like other movies. So like, quite honestly, this says it's 0 to 5. We're going 1 to 6.
There's a theoretical 6, but sure, we can do 1 to 5. That's.
I think we can leave room for 7 if we watch a movie that's more tornado than this later.
I think Geostorm might have been more tornado than this. God, yeah. Pretty tornado-y. They made up technology to measure tornadoes. There were tornado factions. They made fun of weathermen, which is
really weird.
I always put that on my meters, making fun of weathermen.
I'll give it an F4.
Oh, that's a high. That's pretty high.
I think as far as like tornado movies could go, is what I'm thinking about for like my 5 and 6. Like we said, there's like 2 people who die in the entire movie, except for her dad. I don't know. It sounds like it's not a big deal. Just get home insurance.
Jesus Christ.
And so
you heard it here first, folks. Tornadoes, not a big deal.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with I was gonna go F2.
Okay.
But there's a lot of tornadoes just by the sheer volume, and I did like the drive-in scene.
Oh,
so I'll go F3.
That was cool. That was a cool edit with the screen too.
I was like, yes, this is like a slasher movie.
Was that the best scene in the movie?
It was cool. I thought, okay. Yeah. I think you guys are out of your fucking gourds, okay? It's called Twister.
Yeah?
Dude, it's like, you can't have more tornadoes in this movie. It was in like every goddamn scene. I haven't.
Sharknado.
There's sharks in it. There's sharks in it. It's not a tornado.
Tornado. Sharknado. It's a shark tornado. There's
I guess
more tornado.
I haven't seen it. All right, I haven't seen it. Okay. And but that movie's purposely bad. All right, this is the most you can put in without making it purposely bad. Okay. The tornadoes they're constantly talking about it. This guy has a fucking horny obsession with tornadoes, and his love affair is like kind of like a tornado. It's like you get this like pacing in the movie and shit. This is high, okay? I don't want to see more tornadoes in a movie besides this. It's called Twisters, for God's sakes. It's gonna be a F7, 6, it's F6, big tornado movie. This is definitely about tornadoes, guys. What?
I think it was about cars and love,
relationships. Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk to a tornado guy and you're gonna be like, oh, don't see Twisters. It has no tornadoes in.
Plus, they never did the ball rat reveal. Yeah, that would have been great.
Okay, let's move meters. Let's make this brief.
Oh, like actually rate the movie?
I might have been conflating the two.
Okay.
I think the movie for me was like a 2 or a 3. We're like
out of 10.
Out of 10, we're like down bad. I legitimately did not think that the two leads, like their characters, had really good tension. And I'm not like Bill Paxton maybe did better in other movies. I like legitimately did not understand the direction of like the acting. And like in the same scene when he's in a car and they're like, it's high intensity, he would be doing the thing where it's like he's showing a lot of teeth and he would like yell, and then they would like have to do a cut and they would come back and he hasn't like retained any of that energy, and then he would just like say some weird shit. And I feel like the same thing with Joe. And I mean, I was mostly invested in the sex therapist who was getting strung along on this fucking wacky journey. And like, I'm like seeing her in her room when a tornado's coming, like twiddling her engagement ring. And I'm like, man, you're getting fucked over.
Yeah, they deserve, like, those people deserve each other. She deserved better.
Yeah. I kind of thought the crew was funny, but like, it was like the first, second, and third, like not much changing the stakes, but like I feel like the first third, second third, and the final third were all kind of the same. It was like a car chase tornado, car chase tornado, car chase tornado. And it was just, the cow was funny. So
he was like, oh, what's going on?
I'll give it it's not like the worst movie we've ever seen, but I think it's like a 3. I'm not gonna recommend. I wouldn't recommend this to anybody.
Shit, that's low, dog. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm gonna give it a 2. It's different because like you trying to seriously rate this is difficult because a lot of people have it for nostalgia, and colored by that. And especially our generation, it was like it came out when we were very small, probably too small to watch and remember movies. But like still, it was in the cultural like at the time, it was just in the culture. And so a lot of people, like, I'm sure it's hard for them to rate it, but I don't have that. And trying to watch it this morning, not really in the mood to watch it, it was a slog. And I didn't feel scared at a single point. I don't think this movie needs to be watched. I agree with Jace. I wouldn't recommend anybody watch it if they haven't seen it before. If it's your thing, then go off. But like, yeah.
Fuck me, man. I fucking hate this situation, dude. Like, I thought I was gonna be the dude who's dunking on this movie. Okay, I didn't love it. I didn't love the movie. All right, but I thought I would be the negative Nancy. Ryan, you loved Geostorm.
Yeah, Geostorm's good. Hey, go watch Geostorm.
No, don't watch Geostorm. That movie sucks. All right. Like, I thought this was a slam dunk. Ryan's gonna be so psyched about this. I feel like you would have the Storm Chaser maybe like mind too, because you kind of like UFOs. You like the Bigfoot stuff. Maybe you'd want to chase storms. Like, I feel like that.
They're kind of cousins.
Like, up your alley.
I don't like that's agree with that at all.
Cross section is because tornadoes are real. Okay. Anyways, sorry.
Set up that one pretty good.
Okay. Tornado. All right. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna respond to the DMs. All right.
Yeah. Be careful. We got.
Okay.
We got soldiers.
I didn't love this movie. Okay. But I was entertained. Fuck, man. I could see why this earned $400 million in theaters. I thought it was fun, okay? I thought the tension was hot, okay? I liked Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt. I don't care what you guys said. I liked the lingo. I liked the crew. The crew is full of like a lot of character actors from the 90s. They were kind of being like, whoa, we're like tornado dudes. You know, it's a fun time. It's a deeply dumb movie. There's not a lot of thinking going on in here, man. You're just going to watch fucking cows and tractors fly around. And I don't know. That's what I paid for. That's exactly what I wanted out of Twister. It was twisted. It's okay. It's fine. I'm gonna give it a 5. All right. How am I blowing you guys out of the water with my score? This is not a Denali movie, but it's fine.
I give this movie a 10 out of 10 on ability to be talked about because this conversation has been hilarious. But 2 hours? I saw that runtime and I was like, oh.
How am I going to do this? I don't have enough brain chemicals for this. I would bump it up a whole percent point, though, if there was more cows in the tornadoes. Like, if there was multiple, like, if they had did the one, but then it just kept happening, where it was just more and more cows.
Like a bit. Like, it's the same cow.
Jesus, it's the same.
They show it like going to like a cow sanctuary, and they let it off the truck, and they're like, man, Bessie, you've earned it. You've lived a hard life. But we're over the state line. Don't worry.
That's the intro Twisters. It's a retired cow chopping wood in a farm. We need you back.
He wakes up in the middle of the night and sweats, like dreaming about tornadoes.
Honey, it's just a fan.
All right, folks. Well, that was Twister. Let us know what you think at home. It's on HBO. It's on Max. Sorry, it's for free on Max if you have the subscription. And this kicks off our tornado season. Next week, we're going to watch another tornado movie. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll discuss later if we want to do what other movie or when.
Want to do tornado hunting advice?
Yeah, let's do tornado hunting advice. Jace, start us off.
Porcupines
suck.
Eggs.
Therefore,
tornadoes
suck.
Eggs.
Because
they
been
around
my
first word, Jace.
Latitude.
It took 2 minutes to come up with latitude.
Spin around my latitude.
There it is, folks. AI, you try to take our jobs away now.
Can't.
We're taking your job away.